Okay, what you're saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. Now, before we get into this, make sure you follow me on my Telegram channel. I left a link in the live chat and also the description below. So, I post a lot of different trading setups there throughout the week, and you don't want me missing out on that. So, make sure you go check that out. But like I said, got another live stream for you, so I'm going to talk you through what's going in the charts and see if you've got any opportunities coming our way. So, first up, AUD/USD. You can see in this one we had a big push to the upside recently. We've come to test this trend line again for a fourth time. As you can see initially there, second, third, didn't quite test it there, and now we're testing it for a fourth time now. So could be seeing a potential move to the downside. You can see a very strong bearish candle there, and I think we could be seeing a move to the downside there on the hourly as well. Bit of a false breakout maybe of that trend line, and could see it move back to this level here where we had that big push to the upside. So could be seeing a move to the downside. If we break back above this area, it might mean that price wants to come back to the highs, and we actually see a break of the trend line in price. It just continues the overall bullish trend of the higher time frames. But if we do hold this area, could be seeing it move into this area here. Then might see another attempt at breaking through the trend line, or maybe price coming back all the way to the lows down there. Euro USD, we tapped into this area like I said yesterday. Probably going to come and tap into this area of resistance here. As you can see, this is the resistance that we tapped into before gaining this move all the way to the lows down there. So again, this is kind of a very strong area of resistance where we could be seeing it moves to the downside happen for Euro USD. And as you can see, we're very extended to the upside as well, so we could easily be seeing a move to the downside for this pair. And again, on the hourly, you can see a very strong engulfing candle to the downside there. So we are starting to look a little bit bearish here for Euro USD. And if you do really get rejected from this level and see price see a move to the downside, probably could be coming to this area here. As you can see, we found a bit of resistance, pushed down a little bit, support, took us to that level. So that's kind of the next place price might want to have a stop at. Or if it breaks through there, could be coming all the way back down to the lows for Euro USD. But I do think we could be on our way down for this pair. Break above this level, could be seeing some false breakouts, or maybe price actually turning bullish overall and just on another rally back to the upside. But at this point, it looks like we're holding at that level. Could be seeing a nice move to the downside. USD CAD again had a bit of a bullish reaction at this level here. I did say it earlier during my live stream yesterday. This is probably where we expect price to come to. As you can see, we were looking quite bullish at one point, but then price pulled back down and had retest that as resistance, former support time resistance, and now it's come back to this level of support here. So we could be seeing a move to the upside for USD CAD if we do hold this area, push back into that level. Whether we'll go and break through that level of resistance, again, not too sure, because price is looking quite bearish now here on the daily as well. So there's obviously a possibility of us coming all the way back to the lows, all the way down here for USD CAD if we do break through this support. But for now, it does look like we're holding it. Could maybe see it push to the upside, maybe back to that resistance, but the chances are we could roll back over, see a break of that support, and see price come all the way down and test the lows again for USD CAD. USD CHF will come into this area here, really key area of prior resistance, now turned support. As you can see there on the daily, this was really nice resistance all along here. Price was holding there for a number of days, finally broke above it, and now is retesting it as support. You can see in the 4-hourly candle, nice wick to the downside. Price was breaking through that area at one point, but as you can see now, we kind of held it and price pulled back up there just before the candle closed. So could be seeing maybe some rejection to the upside and see price hold this support. As you can see, we've had a really big push to the downside, and you least expect to see price go and retrace some of that move of the move to the downside. So could be happening now. Also, there's a chance we could get a reversal as well, because again, price had a big move to the upside, retraced it back down, and then could see continuation back to the upside. But of course, we need to hold at this level for that to happen. And right now, a big bullish candle, impulsive bullish candle coming to the upside could be a signal saying that we're holding, and we could be seeing a potential reversal all the way back to highs, or even create some new highs for USD-CHF. USD-JPY, similar thing, didn't quite come to test that area. But if I connect it with this wick, so yeah, it didn't quite test it, but we did come into an area around here. As you can see, already had a bullish reaction there. Strong close there on the 10 a.m. candle. So again, USD-JPY could be on its way up if we do hold this area. You can see on the daily had a big push to the upside. It's kind of like the last major last major resistance, now turned support, so could be seeing continuation to the upside for USJPY, and again could be seeing price come back to the highs or create a higher high. As you can see here, prices start to trend to the upside now, so that could be our next low, and then we see another continuation back to the highs, or perhaps even new highs for USJPY, but overall starting to look bullish for this pair. GPUSD had a breakout to the upside, as you can see, looking very bullish here. I did say if we break through that level, probably expecting to see price give us a nice rally to the upside, and as you can see on the daily, creating some new highs there. So again, we're looking very bullish here for GPUSD. Very strong movement to the upside, and again, it hasn't really shown much signals of slowing down on the 4 hourly. Hourly did see some retracement there just before the 4H candle closed, but again, nothing really there, just consecutive bullish candles to the upside for GPUSD, and we are in fact seeing a breakout. But again, do expect price to take a breather, retrace, come back down, find some support before it wants to continue back on its journey to the upside. So again, that is a quite obvious area where price could come back to retest before continuing up. So could expect to see at some point a GPUSD retrace to the downside, maybe come and test this area of support here, form resistance, then support, and then continue on its journey to the upside. But right now it's looking very bullish. Expect to see some retrace soon, but as long as we stay bullish, GPUSD could go even higher. Next, we're going to take a look at NZD CAD. Now, NZD CAD is looking very bearish here. As you can see, we failed to break through this resistance here. So as you can see, we're moving very corrective. Price had to test this resistance once, fell to the downside twice, fell to the downside. So it's looking like we could be getting a reversal here for NZD CAD as we're falling to the downside here. And price could be seeing a nice push to the downside. We still do have this key level of support running through the market here. So again, if I take this across, you can see it was resistance here, big move to the downside, acting as support there again, support here again. So if we break through this level, we could probably be expecting a move all the way back down to the lows here for NZD CAD if we do break through that support down there. But it does look likely, since we're coming back down for a third test this level, might see a little bit of a reaction to the upside. But I do think we'll probably go and break through this support now, since we're failing to create some higher highs there in the market. That's almost a double top really. So again, could be expecting to see a break of this support and price coming all the way back to the lows there for NZD CAD, or even further potentially, because at that point you could be seeing a reversal here on the daily, price failing to make another high there. So you could be seeing another push all the way back down to this support here in the market, which again could be a really nice push to the downside for NZD CAD. But right now looking very bearish, and expecting that to continue for this pair. Next, going to take a look at GPNZD. Now GPNZD is looking very bullish here. As you can see, we did break through that trend line there in the market. Really strong trend line, 1, 2, 3. Broke through it on the fourth test there. And again, on the daily chart, I did say we're probably expecting GPNZD to go to the upside, come test this key level of support and resistance here in the market. So as you can see, support across there, resistance, really key level. So I do think we'll probably see a breakout and price come to that level, since we did fail to create a lower low here. As you can see, we held this support there once, twice, the bit of a double bottom, big push to the upside. Price was just consolidating, and now it looking like it's going to break to the upside for this pair. Of course, the daily candle hasn't closed yet, so there's a possibility that we could come all the way back down. But nonetheless, I do think we'll still probably end up breaking to the upside. And again, we probably do expect to see retrace anyway of this big bullish candle. So bias to the upside for GPNZD. I do think we could be seeing a breakout to the upside for this pair. GPAD, similar thing here, here on the 4 hourly. Again, not as big, not as a significant candle, but it does look very bullish here. As you can see, we held this support area in the market. This is where the news came in, and we saw that big push to the upside. Our price has retested that support, and now it's looking very bullish. So I do think GPAD is back on its way to the highs again, back to 1.8, which is this level here. As you can see, we tested it numerous times. I do think we're going to go test it again. Possibly see a breakout if we do. Again, a lot of upside potential for GPNZD, since GPAD, sorry, since again we did kind of hold that low there, so a bit of a double bottom there as well. So showing signs that we could be getting for a reversal for this pair. And right now we are something that very bullish in the 4 hourly, so I do expect price to continue to the upside. Obviously, could be seeing some retrace, but expecting price to move to the upside. Yeah, I'll take a look at those pairs. AUD/USD, like I was saying earlier, well, came to a really key level in the market. This trend line here and this shear test there, second, third, didn't quite get a fourth. Now we've got a fourth test, and as you can see, we've held this resistance area, and as you can see previously, this area acts as really nice resistance, and as you can see, really big move to the downside. So we've come to test that area again, bit of a false breakout above the trend line, and it's looking like AUD/USD could be on its way back down to come and test this support area here at least. Again, really nice area of support, gave us a really nice push to the upside. Break through that area, could come a little bit further, maybe all the way back to the lows here or somewhere in this area. But nonetheless, we did see a big push to the upside, and I do expect to see AUD/USD have some retracement of this bullish movement. So again, it's looking like we've held this area. Price is showing really strong rejection signs, and we could be seeing a push to the downside to come and test this support area here. Break above that area, it might mean that price wants to come back to the highs, but for now it looks like price is holding that area. So expecting a move to the downside for AU to this support, maybe even further all the way down there, but again less confident about that. USD/JPY, again for this one, we didn't really quite get a test of this support here. As you can see, we kind of just missed it by about a pip or so, but nonetheless we are holding at support in that area. So I could be seeing a move to the upside for this pair as well. Like I said, my bias to the is still to the upside for USD/JPY. I'm still treating this strong bearish movement here as a retrace, as long as we stay above that support, and price is kind of staying above that support here on the 4-hourly. Very big strong move to the downside. Price is consolidating, bit of a false move to the downside there of that wick on the 4-hourly. See on the hourly chart, bit of a false move to the downside, and then a very strong move back up again, giving us a really nice bullish close down the 4-hourly. So I think for USD/JPY, as long as we hold this area, could be seeing another movement back to the highs again, or maybe even the higher high. So as you can see here, that was our last previous low. This could be a new low here, and we could be seeing a new movement back to the upside, giving us a really nice swing there, as long as we hold this area. Like I said on the daily, there's a possibility that we could break through this area, come and tap this support before seeing a push to the upside, because again, we did see a really strong move coming from this area, so there's a possibility price could come and tap there before going up. But nonetheless, we are still at a very strong area of prior resistance here on the daily, now turn support. And again, if we hold that area, I'm probably expecting to see a move back into that resistance, or maybe even the higher high if we are starting to see a bullish trend for USD/JPY. Next, going to take a look at NZD/USD. So NZD/USD again held this resistance again. As you can see, bit of a false breakout there. Price was holding it, and then a very strong close there at 10 a.m. And as you can see, this is a very significant support and resistance area here in the market. So as you can see here, resistance there in the market, support there, resistance, and resistance again. So price has been respecting this area multiple times now, and we've had a really strong close to the downside. So I think we could be seeing a push to the downside after a bit of a false breakout there, bit of retrace maybe in the lower time frames, because again that was a very strong bearish candle. But I do think we could be seeing a drop to the downside for NZD/USD back into this support here potentially. Again, we do have a bit of like we do have a support here which price was respecting quite well. As you can see, moving sideways, broke to the upside, but I do think we could be on our way back down for NZD/USD. Again, if we do hold this area, get above it, that probably means that we're coming to test the highs up here. As you can see, this was the previous swing high of the market. Price came down, had all this consolidation. Breaking through that level probably means we're coming back to the highs. Hold at this level means we're coming back to this previous low, and then might see a breakout to the downside of that level and see a reversal in the market. But for now, it does look like we're holding this resistance here. Very strong close to the downside, closing past those wicks as well, which again is also a sign that we could be coming down. But expecting to see some retracement here for NZD/USD, maybe on the lower time frames again, because very strong push to the downside. You do expect to see some retracement there, and then after that could be seeing price continuing a lot further to the downside, maybe to all the way to this level of support all the way down there. Next, going to take a look at GBP/JPY. Now GBP/JPY, I was in a short trade for this one earlier, but as you can see, we broke through this support or this resistance area, so I looked to close my trade there since I was already running in profit there. Didn't want to stay in it and watch it retrace completely. So I exited that trade, and as you can see, GBJPY is still looking very bullish. Now this market again is very bullish right now. As you can see, it came back to retest that area of former resistance turn support. So if I highlight that area there, on the daily, former resistance turn support, didn't really break through it. I was expecting to see price break through that area and expecting to see a bit more of a reversal for this pair. Well, not really a reversal, but at least a bigger retracement, since we're very overextended on the daily to the upside. But as you can see, still looking very bullish here for this pair, and again very strong close to the upside. Obviously, we do have a chance of a double top there, but again, not going to try and anticipate that until we get some strong signs that that could be happening, because right now we are still looking very bullish for this pair. And again, GJ moves quite similar to GPUSD, which again is on a strong rally to the upside. So again, that could mean that GPJPY could follow and could see further continuation to the upside as well, because again, very strong move to the upside. But again, they probably are due to retrace, but by the looks of it, they're not ready just yet. Next, we'll take a look at CAD-JPY. So CAD-JPY, yesterday we saw a really nice move to the downside. I said if price was to break through this level, we could be seeing a bigger move all the way back down to the lows here, which is where we had this really nice support. Tested it once, bit of a false breakout there, tested it again, saw a big move to the upside, breaking through this resistance. So a break of that support there would have mean this whole move was a false breakout, and we could be seeing a really nice move back into the support. But as you can see, we held that previous resistance there all across here. Now our support, bit of a wick to the downside, bit of a false move there. As you can see, we actually closed bullish there on the full hourly, so we are looking bullish here. I did say probably price could be on its way back up to highs potentially. We do have a bit of an hourly level that price is struggling to get through right now. So again, as you can see, really nice support there as well, will be term resistance. So price had a bit of a wick above it, pull back down, failed to break through that level. So we do have a bit of a minor level there in the market, but get above it could take us all the way back to highs, all the way back to this level up here, and probably even further, because actually that's just probably prices breaking above, retesting, and then continuing to the upside. And you can see on the daily, we do have a bit of a bullish trend here in the market. So again, there's nothing saying we can't go much further to the upside there. So nonetheless, CAD-JPY is still looking bullish. We are still holding this support. And I think if we do hold that support and continue to hold it, probably see price create some new highs there potentially for CAD-JPY. Next, we're going to take a look at EUR-JPY. So EUR-JPY, big push to the upside. We came to test this key level of former resistance and support, used it as support as well. A nice push to the upside. So again, I think EUR-JPY could be on its way back to the highs all the way up here. So again, this area of resistance, this was our last previous swing high of the daily chart actually. So as you can see, here's the daily, that's the high of the market, push to the downside, and it looks like we're slowly climbing our way up to come and test that same area of resistance. So again, held that support, keep giving us higher lows there in the market. It looks like we're just going to continue that. We do have some resistance here that could, of course, pull the market back down, but again, it does show that price is just still sticking with this uptrend here. And I do think that resistance is probably going to break and take us into that resistance there, and maybe even see new highs altogether for EUR-JPY. But for now, we are looking quite bullish and could be seeing price come all the way up back to the highs there for this pair. EUR-GBP still looking very bearish here. As you can see, we're in a very bearish trend here on the daily, and price looks like it's keeping that move to the upside. We do have this support all the way down here, which I did say on my weekly analysis, price is probably wanting to come and test before seeing any major reversals back to the upside. Maybe coming back to this area here, former support all across here, now term resistance. So might see a move into this level, then see price come back to the test that as resistance. But for now, on the 4-hourly chart, price is still looking very bearish here, making those lower lows, lower highs. Now it looks like we're slowly rolling over back to the downside. So could be expecting that to continue, maybe come and test this support here, or actually take out that support and give us a new low there. Potentially that is still on the card, since again the momentum is still to the downside, even in the higher time frames as well, like the weekly and monthly. We are starting to look very bearish here for EUR-GBP. So could be expecting that price action to continue till we come and test this support here around 0.87 before we start to see any major pushes back up to the upside for this pair. Next, going to take a look at CHF JPY. So for this pair, looking very bullish here as well. As you can see, a very big push to the upside for this pair. It looks like we could be seeing price slowly rolling over to the upside here. On the daily chart, you can see we are moving sideways. But on the 4-hourly, you can start to see we're creating some higher lows and higher highs in the market. So again, if I take this across, actually if I zoom out, you can see price is slowly curving to the upside. If I had this trend line here in the market, again, you can see we're kind of trending to the upside, and with this big push, obviously that was a false breakout there, but it looks like price is wanting to go and fill that area and see a really nice push to come and test it as resistance. So again, might see a push back into this level, then might see CHF JPY come back down from that. But so far we are looking bullish. Could be expecting to see some retracement for this pair first. However, again, really nice area of resistance will be turning support, so could see price come back to there, maybe a move into that resistance, and then we potentially could see CHF JPY come back down after that. But for now, we are looking very bullish here. Very strong close at 10 a.m. Expecting to see some retracement, but could be seeing CHF JPY continue to the upside back to the highs there. Next, going to take a look at AD JPY. So still in this short here from yesterday here. As you can see, we were looking quite good, but price did pull back a little bit. So again, it looks like price is kind of just moving sideways now, but I'm expecting to see further continuation to the downside for this pair. Again, for this one, I'm still going to use my stop loss, which is above that resistance. If we do go and break it, I'll exit the trade, but as long as price is below that resistance, looking to see if we can get a nice push to the downside and possibly come and test this area here. But as you can see, starting to look a little bit bullish there on the hourly, very choppy, just moving sideways. If you could break that to the downside, that would be nice, and could be seeing it move it back into that form of resistance, now turn support. But for now, again, a lot of dojis there on the 4-hourly, so again, just represents a lot of indecision. So again, 50-50 either way. Could break to come and test that resistance again for double top, or could just break to the downside and see a swing swing back into that form of resistance, turn support. But for now, just a lot of indecision. So again, just going to see how that gets on. If anyone's in any trades or wants me to take a look at any different pairs, any different markets, just drop it in the live chat and I'll make sure I'll get back to you and give you some analysis on that pair. But like I said, just going to see how this gets on. Going to monitor some other pairs as well and just see how they get on today. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick look at GPUSD. So yeah, for this one, we're still looking very bullish here. As you can see, this turns out to be a false breakout here in the market. Remember when we saw this big push to the downside, thought GPUSD could be on its way back down. News took it back into the consolidation of the range. And as you can see, we slowly just broke to the upside. Price retested this form of resistance here on the hourly, I believe. As you can see, we tested it, and as you can see, looking very bullish now, broken to the upside. Again, the overall trend is still to the upside, so price looks like it's still obeying that. But again, like I said on my weekly analysis videos, we did see a breakout of this resistance here on the monthly. So again, I think for like the next couple months or so, we're probably going to be seeing bullish months here to the upside coming into this area here in the market. Again, that was kind of our previous swing high there on the monthly time frame. So it looks like price is probably on its way to come and test there. And as you can see, January, that bullish month there, kind of had a wick to the downside, retesting that support. And now looking like we're having the continuation for February to the upside. So I think we could be seeing a bullish February here from that information there from the monthly and on the daily chart. If I just clean this up. And on the daily chart, as you can see, we're just broken through that consolidation to the upside. So we are going to be due some retrace, of course, because we did see a really big push. So could be seeing price maybe coming back to retest that as support now, form of resistance all across here, turn support. Because again, we're just seeing consecutive bullish candles there to the upside, and we are definitely due some retrace after that move. But nonetheless, we are looking very bullish here. And from the higher time frame point of view, it looks like GPUSD is still on its way up and still got a lot of ground to cover to the upside. But again, that's higher time frames like the monthly and the weekly. But for now, on the 4H, again, we are due a retrace, but again, very hard to call since we are looking so bullish right now for GPUSD. And again, haven't really had any signs here on the 4 hourly. Or the hourly time frame even that was saying that was slowing down. Bit of rejection there on the last previous hourly candle, but nonetheless we are still looking very bullish here. So my overall bias for GPUSD is still to the upside for the long term. I still think we can see further movement to the upside because of, again, the monthly time frame. But right now, again, looking very bullish. Going to be expecting some retrace, but again, we could just continue to the upside and fly to the upside at this point because we haven't really seen any sign that price is looking to retrace yet. So again, just gonna have to be patient with it. And like with this one as well, on the daily time frame, if you zoom out and look left, there's really like no level for us to really work from apart from the monthly level that's all the way up there. Of course, we'll create our own levels when price looks for breathers and looks to retrace, but right now there's nothing really to look from. And again, I'm not too sure if there's any trend line as well that price could look into hit on the daily time frame. So right now, just looking very bullish. It's into some open space. Going to be expecting to see some retrace soon, but could be seeing price continue a lot further. On the weekly chart, yeah, we do have this area here, to be fair, which I think price might be breaking through. Because again, former support there, so I'll just move this across. Former support there will be acting as resistance there on the weekly. But of course, we could see price continue a little bit further. Yeah, so again, we do have that sort of area around there as well, which of course is this sort of area here, which could be acting resistance. But long term, I think GPUSD is on its way to the upside. We did have that former support term resistance, which was causing a bit of indecision down the weekly time frame, all those wicks to the downside and to the upside. But I think we're going to get a break of that level. Of course, the weekly candle hasn't closed yet, still got a few days left. But I think we could still be on our way to the upside for this pair. Again, my bias is still to the upside. Again, expecting to see some retrace, but right now price is looking very bullish here, and really no real level to work with. So gonna have to be a bit patient with this one to see any retracement to the downside. And I'm not sure if we will get past this level here. This level could hold and see further continuation back to the highs. But right now, GPUC is looking bullish, and I'm probably expecting it to continue to the upside again. So difficult to short this one. Difficult to short because, again, for me, there's no real level here on like the 4 hourly or the daily time frame to really work with. So probably might stay away from GPUSD for now until something clearer lines up, because right now we are looking very bullish here. Okay, so we're gonna have a quick look at USD CAD. Okay, so for USD CAD, we've come and approached a really strong level of price support here in the market. As you can see, I was talking about that support level. We broke through it, retested the resistance, came back down, came to this level here. As you can see, really nice support there previously. If we used the CAD, tested about 3 times, then we saw the big push to the upside from that level. So as you can see, we come to test that level again. It is looking like it's holding there on the 4 hourly. As you can see with that wick to the downside, false move there, pull back up, and before the candle closed, for the H4 candle, you can see we closed bullish for a golfing candle there. So we are looking quite bullish. It looks like maybe you could be seeing a retest and then maybe a continuation back to the upside of that level on the lower time frames. But if you do hold this level, you could be seeing a nice move back into that form of support, now time resistance. Break above that level could take us even further. We do have this trend line that price could be in for another test of, so a break of that resistance could take us to that trend line. The break of that trend line can take us even further and actually start to see a reversal for USD CAD. But for now, we are holding onto this support and do think if you hold onto this support, we're probably going to come and test that resistance again, or maybe even that trend line just above it, break through that support, probably take us to come all the way and test this support down here, which is where we start this turn bullish from. As you can see, tested it 3 times before, so it could be seeing another test of the area, or possibly even price breaking through it and see some new lows for this pair. But for now, it does look like we're holding that support, and if we do, could be seeing a move into that resistance there, or probably that trend line, and again even further if we were to see a reversal on the higher time frames. But for now, looks like we're holding it and could be seeing a nice push back into that previous resistance just above us. Okay, so I can take a look at Euro USD. Okay, so Euro USD again tapped into that level. I did say probably expect to see a movement to the downside from this level. Saw a bit of rejection there on the 4H time frame, went to the upside, closed bearish, so is showing a sign there on the 4H that we could be seeing a move down. You can see previously really nice resistance sent us all the way to the lows down there. So again, really strong area of resistance, and on the 50-minute you can see we actually are starting to look bearish here, creating some new lows there with that impulsive leg to the downside. This kick looking like some retrace, could be seeing another leg to the downside. And it looks like we've also taken out this trend line here in the market, so connecting all those previous lows there in the market. So initially a test there, second, third, fourth, fifth, and now we've had a break of that trend line as well. So possibility of seeing a retest of that trend line is still possible. Could see a test of the area before a swing down, but again still treating this bullish movement here as retrace and looking to see well, expecting to see price continue to the downside for this this pair, because again from a 4-hourly point of view it's looking like we could be seeing a reversal from this area. If you do break through this area again, probably start to see price maybe come back to the highs even, or maybe come and test the high here. That's still a possibility, but nonetheless testing key level resistance. So far we are looking a little bit bearish here on the 15-minute, and of course we've taken out this trend line here as well, so that's another factor saying we could be seeing another swing to the downside for this pair. So again, still expecting to see another swing, treating that bullish movement as retrace. Still possibility of tapping that that trend line now as resistance before moving down. But nonetheless, I do think we could be on our way to the downside there. And again, 15-minute is showing signs of bearishness, and so is the 4-hourly. So could be seeing a really nice push to the downside for that pair. Potentially come and test this area here, which is where we found a bit of resistance, test that support, and then saw a really nice swing to the upside. So it could be on our way back down to that area, break through that area, could be down to the lows or even further. So it does have a lot of downside potential for USD, since again this overall trend here on the 4-hourly is still bearish. So it could just be seeing another lower high before coming all the way back down again. So again, a lot of downside potential for USD. So bias is still to the downside as long as we hold that 4-hour resistance level. Okay, so we're going to take a quick look at Euro USD here. Okay, so for Euro USD here on the 15-minute. Okay, so we did create a new low there, as you can see, very impulsive move to the downside, creating those higher highs, higher lows. Big push to the downside, creating some new lows there below that previous support. So here we're expecting to see another lower high, well, our first lower high, and then see a continuation to the downside. And also you can see we had a break of this trend line here in the market. So I did say there's still a possibility that it could come up to go and retest. Retest that trend line to give us the lower high. Again, that is the high there. So again, as long as price reverses below that, we still got a lower high, and we can still be expecting to see another leg to the downside. So we could be seeing a test of that trend line first before price comes down, or maybe even price comes above that, force breaks in, and then see another push to the downside. But again, as long as we have this push to the upside and create a lower high and don't see price come and take this level out, we still possibly have a downtrend here on the 15-minute, and we could be seeing another continuation taking out this previous low here and start to see a reversal here for the for Euro USD. So we are expecting to see a move to the downside here. You can see on the 4-hourly come to test a really strong level of resistance here, tapped into it once, and had a really strong move to the downside. We're back at that same level again, and as you can see, if we jump to the 15, we're starting to get those signs of reversal there. So yeah, could be seeing a really nice push to the downside for Euro USD, breaking through this trend line here. Could be seeing a test of that area, and then expecting to see another leg to the downside here for EU. But again, breaking above that area probably means that it was just a false move, and might see some higher highs first before we come down. But nonetheless, it looks like we could be seeing a reversal here for Euro USD as long as we get that lower high. Might see a retest of that trend line first, so watch out for that. But could be seeing a nice drop to the downside for Euro USD. So again, I hope that analysis helped. Suck me off and then call me Steve. Okay, so it's just gone 12 p.m, so I'm going to look to end the live stream shortly. We're going to do a quick rundown on some of the pairs that we looked at earlier and see how they're getting on. So first we'll start off with AUD. You can see with this one had a really nice bearish reaction on the last previous 4H candle. Hourly looks like we could be getting some retrace for this pair if I get rid of that trend line quickly. So again, you can see we wicked to the upside there, pull back down, so could be seeing that continuation to the downside there for AUD. But again, as long as we hold below that level, I think we could be seeing a move into this level here for this pair, maybe even further back to the lows there, and we can just be getting a lower swing high there and seeing a continuation to the downside. Similar thing with EURUSD, expecting to see a move to the downside as long as we hold this level. You can see prior to that, really strong area of resistance, tapped into it, fell to the downside really nicely, so could be seeing another retest of that area, another push to the downside, possibly to come test this area here, really nice support, send us to the upside, maybe even further. If you break through it, could be seeing price come all the way back down to the lows, or maybe even create new lows there for EURUSD. USD similar thing here, came to a really key level of support through here, as you can see, gave us a really nice move to the upside, new highs. Now we're back testing that same area again, so that again could be the move, that could be the level that gives us the move to the upside. So if you do hold this level, I think we'll come to that resistance, maybe even break through it and see test that trend line or even further. Again, if you do break through that support and doesn't hold, obviously price come back to the lows and test this level, or maybe even further and create some lower lows and just continue the overall bearish trend of USD CAD. But nonetheless, it looks like we're holding that level, and you can see hourly looks like we're getting some bit of retrace before we expect the move to continue into that resistance or possibly even that trend line there. So again, as long as we hold that level, I think USD CAD could be on its way up. Similar with USD CHF, if I just get rid of that level. So for USD CHF, it looks like we were retesting this area here in the market, really key level of former resistance here on the daily, now turned support. So again, it looks like we're getting a bit of a test of that on the 4 hourly. Looks like we had a bit of rejection. Again, not too much confirmation here, but hourly looks like having a bit of retrace, nice push to the upside. And in the 4 hourly, you can see how a wick to the downside, pull back up. So it is showing signs that we could be holding at this level. And if we do, might even see price swing all the way back to the upside, take out these highs here for USD-CHF and see a really big move for this pair all the way back to the highs and create some new highs, maybe come test some levels up here. But yeah, I think we could be on our way to the upside for USD-CHF. USD-JPY still looking very bullish as well. Looks like we could be on our way to the upside, back to the highs again, potentially if we do hold this level. Again, really key level, it didn't break through. If we broke through that level, we could have maybe seen a proper reversal. But here we are testing this prior resistance, now turned support. So if we do hold this, might see us take back into that resistance, break through it. However, we do have a lot of downside potential, maybe to come back into this support here in the market, which is where we got that big swing to the upside from. So you could be tapping into that level there if you do break through that support. But nonetheless, it looks like it's holding. It could be seeing a really nice push to the upside there for USD-JPY. My current trade AJPY looking a little bit bullish. As you can see, we're breaking to the upside there on the hourly. Still very corrective though. So as long as price stays below that resistance, I'll look to stay in the trade. If it breaks through the resistance, I'll exit and probably a failed trade at that point, and could be seeing an actual breakout for ADJPY and price continuing to the upside. However, if this was a false breakout of this high here, could be seeing a nice push to the downside back into that resistance, or maybe even further, because at that point we might just be having a little bit of a double top there potentially. So it does have some nice downside potential. Looks like I'll come to test that resistance again. If it holds, could be seeing a nice swing to the downside, breaks, probably see an actual breakout for AJPY and see price continuing to be bullish. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But so far looking a little bit bullish there, very corrective to the upside there. So it could be seeing maybe a break of this trend line here in the market, and then see price give us a nice swing to the downside. But again, we'll find out there if we do hold that resistance or not. So going to stay in this trade, might still be in it tomorrow if we still hold below the resistance. I'll be updating you to see how it gets it on. But that is the end of the live stream. Hope you all enjoyed it and found it useful. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also leave it a like on the video if you found it useful. But thanks again for watching, and until the next one, I'll see you guys later.